All right, so working on this Spider-Man shot. So this is my first real project in Maya. Let's walk through some of the stuff that I did. So added in, obviously a camera here. I used Mecha Bricks to, import in to like get a whole bunch of Lego models, minifigures, and all that. I got this nice little minifigure rig as well online. I'm blanking on the person who made the rig right now, but it is a very nice little FK rig for Lego figures. You gotta parent, all the joints yourself, but that takes like a few minutes. There's a nice tutorial there. Um, I'll link it in the description. It is $1 on his Patreon, so, if you want to invest, you could make one your own, but I am lazy. And also on a time crunch, so I just, paid that dollar. Also, the Mechabricks files do not come in prepared for Arnold in Maya. So I found a quick little tutorial on the internet that showed like a script to be able to convert it, and you could, go in here and type out a script every single time that you want to do something. That is really annoying, so I just quickly made it into this little Lego button here. And that took a couple hours to figure out because I'm new. Okay, now moving into the actual scene. So I brought in some base plates. So these are just standard blue Lego plates. They're referenced in. All my files are referenced in so that if I need to change something, I can change it, update that. For this shot specifically, due to how I did the lighting, I actually disabled the water layers, but there's other shots later in the piece that have, you know, uh, that'll have the water because it'll need to be present. Here's the bridge, which is a modified Lego set from an actual set that they made. Uh, yeah, here it is. Um, it is modified from a Spider-Man set. Basically, it's half a bridge. It cuts off right here. And I mirrored it, changed up a whole bunch of the colors, added this like scaffolding, took a whole bunch of stuff out, added all this stuff to better match the shot that I'm working on. We can switch to our camera angle here, our render cam, and we can finally see, what our angle we have going on here. So in this shot, there is that kind of trolley car or whatever it's called on the rope. So I quickly made one of these little things. It's not like it's clipping the geometry here, but you're not gonna be able to tell from the angle. And then I also added a little, the ropes. And again, that ain't how that works, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It looks fine from the camera angle. That's all we care about. And then, of course, what is a Spider-Man short without Spider-Man? The textures were all jacked up on the Spider-Man, so I had to do a whole bunch of UV remapping, which is why a whole bunch of these textures aren't showing in the viewport. Found this really nice Green Goblin figure on Mecha Bricks. They should definitely make this. Yeah, so that's what he looks like. He's glossy, of course, like everything else. It's just the lighting. Okay, so as you can see, I posed him here. Here's the rig that I got. Lining up all with the stuff. Uh, the Lego figure, again, it doesn't really work this way with the geometry clipping right here. But again, from our camera view, which is around here, you can't tell. It's fine. One of the massive decisions in the scene is Spider-Man choosing the orphans. Well, I don't know if they're orphans, whatever. Spider-Man choosing between the New York kids and Mary Jane. So here she is. I brought her in. Her textures did load correctly, which is why they can display in the viewport. And she is the best animation by far. I set up the camera and I did some animation. So, here's some little rudimentary animation that I did. It doesn't really matter. It's not the point of the shot. Um, Made sure each character had just a little bit of movement. And then also for that little car on the side to just, give it a little bit of rotation as well as this wiggling rope. And lighting in this scene in the shot in the movie, it's very dark. There's just a bit of orange light kind of coming up from underground, I guess. I don't know. It's over water, but they did not light it very well. Um, so I took a little bit of liberties. I made it a little bit brighter, and I also, wanted to define these Lego characters. So, what you see in a lot of the Lego movies, and just a lot of movies in general, usually, is this harsh edge lighting. Now, you could do that by having a directional light that just comes from one way, but that is not how I wanted to do it. I wanted to be able to choose how much I wanted per character, basically, or even object like this. Let me unhide my lights here. Look at all of them. There's a lot of lights in this scene. So here's my orange lights down here. They're basically a bit of an ambient light, you could say, but they only show up on the sides. I have this kind of dark bluish just sphere on the outside here. Just again more ambient lighting. Another directional light up here, which has a slight like bluish tint here. And basically, what that's doing is it's just kind of being a unifier for all these edge lights that I have, so that everything has that edge light, and then I'm like a soft edge light, and I'm dialing it in per individual object here. So I've got one area light here for Spider-Man. All of these are kind of the same blue as the top one. They kind of blend into each other, so I decided to have another light here, so we kind of get a nice edge light to tell the depth. And that's really the whole goal of the edge light, is to be able to show the 3D depth and take advantage of that this is a render, emphasizing the silhouette of things. This is my first project in Maya. I ran into several render problems, so I probably rendered this shot 5 or 6 times. So this is the render. As you can see, it's quite dark. It's actually a lot darker than it was in Maya. Uh, that's a color thing, but luckily it's an EXR, so it's linear. So I just, went and I graded it and made it a little bit brighter. I could not get the denoiser in Maya to work with the render farm. I just did like as much denoising as I could in comp here, which definitely slows down the previewing, but it's necessary for the final image. I have the Z-Pass. The way that Maya renders the Z-Pass, it needs to be normalized. So I did that, and here it is, nice and normalized. So you can see the farther back it goes, the brighter it gets. And then I just, added that back into my main pipe here. So here's my background I got. It's just an image off of Google. And yeah, it's just some random city. I don't know. You know the city. Leave a comment. But obviously this is the wrong resolution. So I, cropped down, like reformatted it to the right resolution, scaled it up, moved it over so I can get just a portion of the sky here. And then I just added that in the background of my little image here. Z defocus. This is where it really starts to slow down, but there we go. It defocuses pretty much just Spider-Man for this image, but without everything just is too sharp. So it's just a slight defocus. Have all these strong edge lights that I was talking about that are really separating things out, silhouetting them. And I wanted to kind of make them brighter. So I brought in an Expo Glow, which is like a little gizmo script for Nuke that you can just get online for free. And basically there I am, just adding that extra little bit of like glimmer that you would get from an actual camera lens. I got this little node from the internet somewhere, and yeah, it's basically to add like really nice procedural lens flares to your image. I definitely go overboard with this, but I enjoy it. So this is the image that it generates for us. Looks really weird like this, and it is, because that's every single thing above a certain level of brightness will appear as this little star. But this doesn't do us any good, so until we plus that on top of there, basically adding it on as like an extra layer of brightness on top of things, and it adds just this nice, uh, a little overly subtle flaring. Then I have this vignette node. I got it from the same place that I got this auto flare, and it's just a really nice, subtle vignette that I have on there to kind of, you know, darken some of those edges, and it's a very, very realistic vignette. A lot of vignettes I've found are just basically putting black over the edges, but this is actually exposing down the bright parts, so you're still getting that detail there. That was my first scene made in Maya. If you have any, recommendations for future videos or any questions about any of the stuff I did here that you want to see more about, leave a comment below, and enjoy.